It's connecting. Hey guys, welcome to Maryam's Joyful Life slash Black and Natural in Jerusalem.
Hey guys, welcome. Yay, how exciting.
Yep. Amazing.
So I'm getting on your channel now too to see.
Okay, that sounds great. So I'm sure people will start joining us, and all about confidence, baby.
All about confidence.
That's what we're talking about today.
Do you want to start out by just sharing some thoughts about confidence? Why you think it's significant? Why you think it's important to have it?
Yeah. Okay, well, so confidence, guys, is one of the most important things you could ever have in your life. If you're very wealthy, regardless of how wealthy you are, or the most beautiful thing that ever walked the surface of this earth, if you don't see it and you don't feel confident and you feel like you don't feel it on the inside of you, regardless of how many people are telling you you're beautiful, you're still going to feel ugly. So confidence is appreciating yourself, everything about you, your flaws, the things that are great about you, the things that are not so great about you, your past, your present, your future, everything that makes you who you are. Confidence is being comfortable and loving it just as you are, not wishing to be like anyone else, but embracing yourself to your entirety. That's what I see as confidence. How about you, Tanya?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're going to be surrounded by people constantly some who will really praise you, and some who will look down on you and find you unattractive, and some who will find you attractive but will say they don't because they're jealous. Yeah. So your confidence has to come from somewhere inside. Really has to come from knowing who you are. And that comes from within, not from any external appearances.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Confidence comes from within. It doesn't, you can't look for it anywhere. You can't. Right. It has to come from you, and you have to let yourself feel it. You have to feel it. That's what confidence is.
You know, when I was a little girl, my grandmother, she used to tell me, and I look a lot like my grandmother. She used to tell me, she used to say, you need to hold your hands up and you need to just kiss your hand and say to yourself, I'm so beautiful, I'm so beautiful. And she would say that repeatedly, and I remember because I was dark skinned, I still am, and I got teased so much about it. And she used to tell me, I hadn't told her this, but she had experienced it too. She grew up in Harlem in the middle of the Harlem Renaissance, and then afterward, but people were still partial to lighter skin. And so she said to just kiss your arms and tell yourself how beautiful you are, because if you don't believe it, nobody's going to believe it. You know, if you don't believe it, you won't know it as a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Confidence is just the best thing that could happen, especially to women. Women really need to be confident in who they are. Latanya, you want us to start going through these questions right now before people start joining us?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's see here.
Which question do you want to talk about first?
Let me see. Let me pull them up. There was one that particularly stood out to me because I can relate to it. And it was from Still Chips on Instagram.
Okay.
And how do you stay body confident when you're surrounded by curvier friends who always comment on your petite frame? And so I completely relate to this, Still Chips. I 100% relate to this because I'm not only surrounded by petite friends, but I'm not only surrounded by curvier friends, but my family members are also much curvier than me. So growing up, skinny girl, the beanpole, and I was waiting for my curves to come in, and they started and they stopped, and that was that. And I remember just feeling inadequate and feeling like I'm not as attractive because when we're together, the guys approach my friends and they don't approach me. And it had a big impact on the way I viewed myself, on the way I interacted with people. I was very withdrawn. I was always that quiet girl, the quiet friend, the quiet cousin. And it really made me feel, well, it didn't make me feel, but I was down on myself, very unattractive. And I had to start realizing as I got older, this did not happen for me, you know, in my teens or even in my 20s, probably maybe in my late 20s and into my 30s, I started to really take inventory of myself, and
Yeah.
take stock of what was going on inside of me and what made me valuable, what really made me attractive. And you know, we hear this, it's the inside that counts, and we can really laugh that off, but actually it's the truth. It's what's inside that matters. It's what's within the person that makes a difference. And I started to look at myself, my character, my qualities, what drew people to me. And I began to see, you know what, I really am attractive. The
Exactly.
outer shell that we, thank you, the outer shell that we receive from society that tells us, you know, especially as Black women, a bigger butt is what's attractive, curvy hips, big breasts. You can't, I mean, I guess you can change those things, but really, you're not going, if those things, if changing those things are what make you feel good about yourself, then once they start to sag and start to flop, you're just going to feel bad again. You have to get a real sense of worth from within first.
Yeah.
And then start to fix up the externals in the way you want them to look. And I don't mean by adding to them. I mean, adorn yourself in the way that accentuates those parts of you that are already beautiful and that you already have. I'm very petite. I've always been thin. I'm a bit short. I'm 5'5", 5'5.5". I claim that half. But I started doing clothes that look nice on my body. My friends in college would always tell me, you wear baggy clothes all the time. Why are you doing that? And I realized I was hiding my skinny body.
Yeah.
So I started to wear clothes that fit. And I started to do different things with my hair. And I started to accentuate my appearance with makeup every now and then. I didn't wear a lot of makeup back then. But the main thing that happened in me was that I had to start believing inside, you know, you actually are attractive and you do have something of worth, not something to give to a guy, but something of worth simply because I'm valuable.
Yep.
And that's when the change started coming. And I started feeling good about myself and wanting to dress myself up and to look different. And it made that difference in me. So feeling good around your curvier friends, you know, acknowledge that they're beautiful, but start to look inside and see what you have that's beautiful. Dress for your best, not for their best, but for your best, and dig deep within to see where your beauty is coming from.
You Chiefs, I hope you can hear Tanya. I hope you heard all the pieces of advice she's just giving you. And it's true, you've got to love and embrace yourself regardless of who you're surrounded by. You know, you could be thin and be around curvier friends. Don't let anybody make you feel like you're less than just because you don't look exactly like them. Don't do that.
Right. Exactly.
That's exactly what you just said. So yeah, that was nice, Tanya. For sure. I feel the same way. I do. Okay, this Maryam and Hunter fan page. I really don't know who you are. I don't know who you are in person. Whoever set this page up, let me know who you are, please. Yeah, you have a question. You said, how do you stay confident even when people are hating on you and trying to tear you down? Okay, let me answer.
That's a good one.
I have actually been in this situation before. I remember when I was in junior college, Lamar Community College, Colorado, I had teammates. My teammates were mostly Black. So a good number of them hated on the white people, you know, the white students we had on campus. And basically, they were racist, sort of, towards them. And they acted very disrespectfully to teachers and everybody else. And they expected me to act that way because I look like them, because my skin tone is like theirs. So I remember this day they came to me, I was like, why are you kissing white people's butt? Why are you acting this way? So it seemed like the whole team, they were able to turn everybody on the team, their hearts against me, to rise up against me. I remember that day. And they came at me, they would attack and try to make fun of me and everything. But I would look at them and tell them, see, just keep, whatever you do is not going to break me. I'm not, just because I have the same skin tone as you guys doesn't mean that I'm with you guys. I'm not. Right. I'm not with you guys. And the fact that I'm on the team doesn't mean that I'm going to hate on the people that you guys hate on. So I'm telling you, a lot of them rose up against me, and it was just like 1 against like 13.
Wow.
But I didn't flinch. Okay, I didn't flinch, and it didn't break me down. I stood my ground, did all the things that I could do, and of course I played my game. Spoke for me, you know, and I wasn't constantly thinking about them or what they thought about me or what they were saying, because there was this particular girl who was like a spy for one of my teammates back then. She would come to me and ask me, what do you think about this teammate? What do you think about their game? I tell her, I say, I don't care about their game. I don't care. Why are you asking me? Did they put you up? She would go back and tell the girl that I said I don't care. I remember one time my teammates behind my back, they organized a meeting. I think they had already talked and waited for me to join the meeting so that they would gang up against me. So when I went and they were like, this girl was like, yeah, see, I talked to that girl and she said, when she asked you about my game, you said you don't care. What do you mean? I said, yeah, truly, I really don't care. That's what I told her. I really don't care about your game. Why do you care so much what I think about your game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I know, don't do this. And then the girl was like, I'm gonna kick your butt. I was like, yeah, come kick my butt. I'm right here, come kick my butt. So it was like, yeah, a lot of things like that, they ganged up. And that's not the only time. That's not the only time. So the thing is, when people are hating on you, you have something that they want that they can't get.
Right.
You can't allow yourself to break down because you're in the midst of people who don't like you. All you got to do is change your circle. Look for people who will love you, appreciate you, and help you bring out the best in you. Don't surround yourself by people who will constantly break you down. People who are always, because there's people like that these days. They always want to pull you down, do things that would hurt you, but you can't. You just can't let that happen.
Right.
So my answer to your question, Maryam and Hunter fan page. I don't know who you are, but what you do is surround yourself with people who care about you, people who have your back. Okay. Yeah. Stay away from people who are constantly hating on you. Stay away from them. Like if you live in the same house as them, try as much as possible to avoid them. If they try to start something with you, tell them I know what you're trying to do, but I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to pay. I'm going to pay you no mind. Just ignore it and do your thing. Do things that make you happy constantly. Focus on the right things about you. Focus on things that take your mind from those people hating on you, because usually that can distract you from doing what you're supposed to do. That's my What do you think?
Good. That's really good. That's so good, because you know people can be hateful, and when we get sucked into the trap and pulled down into it, it just pulls us down. It just destroys our hearts.
Yeah.
You know. So that's just. I'm so sorry that those women behave that way toward you, but you really handled it well, because I know many people couldn't have responded that way. They'd have been fighting. They'd have been brawling.
Tanya, are you talking about my own experience with those girls?
Yes.
Yeah, that's my experience. I'm telling you, those girls, they thought, I mean, that girl wanted to fight me. She rose up and they were trying to hold her back. I said, no, come, let her come beat me. Let her come fight me right here. I'm here. Oh, why do you care so much? See, that's exactly how those people who are hating on you, that's how they react. When you don't pay them no mind,
yeah,
it hurts them. It hurts them so bad. But when you pay them any mind, you act like you care about what they say, that's when they keep coming at you. They keep coming at you. That's how
it's the thing. They're not worthy of your response. And when people automatically resort to violence because you're not giving them any response, that's how you know this is their insecurity, not yours. Exactly. They're coming after you because they're insecure and they don't like your confidence, and you just need to keep it moving. Just let those people have their issue, because really you're not even the issue. It's them. You know, it's their brokenness.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I see one that I want to answer, and it's about child's confidence.
Okay.
It's by Arodo HT1. I'm not sure how to say it.
Instagram. Okay.
But the question is, I think it is very important to maintain a child's confidence during those early years. Once it's destroyed, it's almost impossible to regain. And I 100% agree. I know that my confidence was rocked pretty strongly as a child. Yeah. And I try to pay close attention to my children. I have 2 children. One is almost 12 and one just turned 9. And I pay attention. I try my hardest to pay to them and to how they interact with the people around them. You know, you want to shelter them and protect them from other people's hurtful words, but really you can't. So what you have to do is prepare them for the attacks and the hurtful misunderstandings and even the things that people want to do to them. You have to prepare them for that. So one of the main things that I think you can do for a child to help them with their confidence, it seems totally unrelated, but actually it's spending time with them. Yeah. Spending time with them, because that communicates to them that they have value. It communicates to them that they're important enough for you to stop what you're doing or to make time to do special things with them. And it lets them know that they're important to the most important person in their world, who's their parent. And then the people who surround them, when you make sure that people are investing in them and building them up, telling them that they're intelligent and that they're attractive, yes, but you know, you don't even have to talk about their appearance so much, because they need to understand that their value and their importance comes from who they are as an individual, who they are. They're teaching them to be a good person, to make right choices, to be kind and generous and gracious. And believe it or not, it's those things that help build their self-esteem, because they see the fruit of that behavior. They see how it impacts other people, and it feels good for them to do good to others. They begin to feel like, I'm a person of worth. When you exemplify those same qualities and characteristics, you give them the example of what a beautiful person is, what a good person is. And their confidence in themselves as they model that will grow.
Yeah. Tanya, I think she also wants us to talk about herself. I don't know. She's wait. She had another question. Like immediately after that one, she said, "How do you gain confidence after it's being shattered? After it's been shattered, growing up with abusive relatives." Yeah. That?
Yeah. So can you talk about that?
Sure, I can. Okay. Arodo HT1 on Instagram. So when I'm just gonna draw an example from my childhood. When I was growing up, I don't know if you guys have watched all my vlogs to the point I talked about my family. I grew up in the midst of a lot of girls. Okay, I have about 13 siblings who are girls. Okay, and my dad, of course, had 2 wives. So we were in a polygamous home. So I have so many sisters from my side and sisters from my step family. So the thing is, growing up and being amongst all my sisters, right? There's jealousy. There was jealousy amongst us. And I noticed that I was really picked on a lot, and they would call me different kinds of names just for no reason. They'll try to break my confidence down, break me down for no reason. Call me names and tell me I'm ugly. I'm like, okay, I'm just sitting on my own, but you're just calling me ugly. If I try to do something, okay, I remember one time I'd asked my mom to buy me mascara so that I could use it on my lashes. And one of my stepsisters heard it, and they went and gathered, and they were like, she's now asking her mom to buy her mascara. Who knows what she's going to do next? You know what I mean? Like I'm going to be a hoe. I'm going to do just because I was asking my mom to buy me a mascara.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, what is going on here? I remember one time I followed one of my sisters to her boyfriend's place, right? And then the boyfriend was like, wow, your stepsister is beautiful. Guess what? I went outside to get some water. On my way back, I heard that telling the boyfriend, why'd you tell her she's beautiful? Why'd you tell her what is going on with you? What do you mean? I heard it, but then I came in and pretended like I didn't hear it. So even my sisters, so you see all of them calling me. I remember one time one of my sisters was like, Maryam, you're never gonna find any guy. No guy is ever gonna like you. Look at you, ugly. I would look at it, I was like, why? So these things, when I was growing up, I wasn't even 14 yet when these things were happening. I was just growing up. I was like, why are these guys always looking at me? At one point, I was like, okay, well, is it because I don't really look like them? You know what I mean? As much, because I mean, we have some similarities. But I was like, why are they doing this to me? I was really hurt. I was just growing up. It made me feel like I was ugly, like nobody would ever like me. I couldn't have any friends. Then one day I looked at myself. I was like, you know what? I really don't want to look like any one of them. I really don't want to be like them. Okay? I love me. I love myself. I don't want to be anything, because if God wanted me to be anything else, he would have made me that thing. He didn't make it. At that very young age, guys, I was just thinking, I was like, God didn't make a mistake. So from that moment henceforth, I started embracing myself, loving myself. Okay. Yeah. I realized that whenever I would clean up, dress, feel nice, they would feel bad. You know what I mean? They'll feel intimidated. And some of them was like, who do you think you are? You think you now, because you're all cleaned up, you look beautiful now? I'm like, oh yeah, I like the way I look.
Yeah.
It hurts them. So the thing is, people, especially family, the way to overcome what they try, their abusiveness, is to not pay any mind to them. Embrace yourself. No matter what feature you have, because usually, like me, I have knocked knees. I was born with knocked knees. So that part of me, they always cussed me out and called me knocked knees, knocked knees. I was like, yeah, but I love my knocked knees. God gave me knocked knees. So we try to amplify that part of you that they think is ugly, and just to make you feel bad. They did that for years. They tried, but then they noticed that they couldn't stop me. Okay, the more they tried, the better I became at resisting them.
That's so good.
Come to the house and tell me, "Oh, you look beautiful, Maryam. You look beautiful." I was like, "Yeah, thank you very much." And that would hurt them so bad. They didn't like that. Okay, I'm telling you, to this day, the places I can stand and talk and go to, I know for sure none of my sisters can stand confidently and talk. And the places I have been, none of them can stand there and express themselves. You know why? Everything they tried to do to break me didn't break me. They made me better. I don't know if I would have come this far or even have this YouTube channel if they hadn't done all those things and I hadn't found myself. What they tried to do to me helped me find myself. Help me come. Okay? Even today, when they look at me and I even talk to them too, I even advise them on certain things. And they know me. They know it's so, wow, Maryam, you're always a talker. You're this, you're that. You know, Maryam, wow, you're a celebrity and all that stuff. I'm like, well, I haven't reached there yet, but I know God is taking me places. You know, so for people who try to break you down, especially family, because there's family like that, it's because they're jealous and they see something in you that they don't have. And they think the only way to take it away from you is by trying to break you down. Okay, and the devil is working through them to try to break you down, but don't allow them break you down. Don't. Embrace who you are. Embrace who God has made you. Pursue your dreams. Focus on you. Don't focus on them.
Right.
And try to go places. Try to surround yourself with people who care about you and people who will be, who you can express yourself to, you know, who embrace and respect and love you just as you are, not trying to change you or abuse you like family members would. That's my response to it.
That is so good. It is so true. Surround yourself with people who care.
Yeah.
And that you're better than that. You know, and the thing that I'm noticing about what you said is that you never stooped to their level. You never did what they did and found things to say about them and highlighted features that maybe that you might have found them attractive on them. You never did that. Yeah.
I didn't.
You don't repay evil for evil. You repaid evil with good. And look at how you've been blessed. And look at how the Lord has moved in your life and opened doors for you. You know? That's the right choice.
It is.
Okay, I see one here. Were you done, or did you want to say anything else about that one?
Yeah, that one. Okay. Yeah, the final thought is you can regain your confidence. Your confidence is not completely shattered. You have to find it. It's inside you. It's on the inside. You have to find it. Let it come out. Let it show. Let that ray of light you have on the inside of you, let it pop. That's it. Just let it pop. See, a lot of people go about finding it. That's why, okay, I'm just gonna divert just for a second, Tanya. A lot of people's confidence have been broken at home. Do you know where they try to find it? They try to find it in men, in a bunch of men. Sleeping around, looking for men who tell them they are beautiful. Oh, this man said I'm beautiful. He loves me and stuff. And they will use you, dump you, and you still feel empty and worse than you ever felt before.
Right.
So finding your confidence, you can't find it in anyone else. You can find it only in you. And you have to allow yourself find it. Reach down on the inside of you. It starts with looking at yourself in the mirror, telling yourself you're beautiful. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. What matters is you. Looking at yourself and telling yourself, I'm feeling it. I am beautiful.
Yeah.
I am good enough. You know, I love who I am. It doesn't matter what anybody says. What matters is me. You know, that's it. That's the last thing I had to say about that.
That's so good. That's right on. I like it.
Me too.
Okay, let's see. Bunny's My Heart. She has a question. How to be confident in new situations or surroundings? Because of things that have happened in my past, I'm always nervous about being in new surroundings. And I think Maryam and I can both relate to this because we're both in countries that are not the country of our birth and our origin. I'm in Israel and Maryam's in the United States. So we kind of like crossed, crossed over the water. But it can be challenging, especially if you're in a setting where you don't look like the majority of the people around you, or where you don't speak the language, or you don't get the jokes, or the little kind of idiosyncrasies of the culture that make it unique, you know, that you clearly stand out. It can be difficult to find confidence. And just this past summer, in fact, I was in Europe. I already live in a different country from the one in which I was born and grew up, but I was in Europe over the summer in Croatia. And so it was kind of like nonstop, 24/7 on display. And you do have to have a level of comfort with yourself if you're going to go into a context like that. And if you are the person who's constantly being put in those new surroundings, then it's likely that there's already a level of confidence in you that's there, just waiting to break free. I'm a big believer in God and in God putting us in circumstances that are designed for us specifically, either to help us grow, to help us change, or just to nurture what's already there.
Yep.
So if you find yourself continually going into new surroundings, then it's very likely that there's already something inside of you that God wants to grow up and wants to expand. Like you were talking about just exploding out of you, that's in there. You know, you have to take stock and inventory of yourself first. When we're in, well, even here in Israel, I have to look at myself and just keep saying to myself, you know, you are beautiful. You are lovely. You are attractive. You're smart. You're funny. You're wise. People like to talk to you. People laugh at the things you say. Just things about myself that I know are strong and positive points. Because when you go out, you can't change the fact that you will stand out and that people are going to notice you, that they are going to see you as somebody different. And usually, honestly, it's curiosity. It's not that there's anything negative about it. What you present to them based on how you feel about yourself is how they're then going to interact with you. Maryam, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, you don't have to be afraid of new situations because you never know what blessings await you in those new situations, right? But
Yeah.
when you get to a new situation where you meet new people, your first thought shouldn't be, oh, you know, hold yourself back or anything. Try to interact with people. You know, you can ask, don't be afraid to ask questions. Anything you want to learn about people, if you can be bold enough to ask them questions, there are people you'll be surprised at how many people will be willing to answer your question. And the thing is, when you find yourself in a new surrounding, even those people around there, okay, some of them are also threatened by new situations. But one person is waiting for just one of you guys to break that ice. If you can break that ice and talk to someone, then only God knows what possibilities could come out of it, right?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. I know it's for you. Okay, the question is, she's had bad experiences in the past before, so she's careful in new surroundings. The thing is, be wise. When you find yourself in a new surrounding, you can talk to people. That doesn't necessarily mean you want to make them your friends and start telling them your secret.
Right.
Because you've been beaten once, so you don't want to be in a situation like that where you tell somebody, bring somebody in, and then they end up, you know, hurting you or something. But be wise, but at the same time, do not allow the fear of what happened in the past to haunt your present, and stop other opportunities that could come your way if only you could just say hi and maybe start a conversation with someone. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You can still be in new situations, and bad things that happened before will not happen so long as you're very careful with what you tell people. You know what I mean? And then just embrace what comes out of it. Don't be too suspicious, but be watchful. That's all I have to say.
You know, that's a good point, because the more that you trust, well, first of all, trust in yourself, but the more that you kind of just let yourself be free to just be yourself, people will be drawn to that. Actually, that's very attractive to people. When they see that you're comfortable with who you are and themselves, they're drawn to you. And like Maryam said, you don't have to tell them all your business, like your whole life story, but just being free to be you makes such a big difference. I grew up as a very, very shy person, very shy. And I was telling Maryam earlier today that I intentionally wore these super bright colors today because I'm so different that I used to hide from bright colors. Although I thought they were pretty, I used to wear muted colors, you know, beautiful colors, but very muted, earth tones, navy blues, browns, creams. And it's because I really didn't want to stand out and get any attention drawn to me. And I realized that people interacted with me the way I perceived myself. But I wanted to know people. And when I would go into a new setting, I wanted to be talked to. I wanted people to interact with me. So what I started doing was just kind of pushing out a little bit more. And again, it came from within, like we keep saying. But I started kind of stepping out a little bit more, going and introducing myself, going to talk to somebody and start asking them. They're talking about them and they're becoming comfortable with you, and you grow in confidence because you're thinking, wow, I did it. I actually got out there and talked to somebody. You know, so it makes a difference how you perceive yourself and the permission that you give yourself to go and talk to people and to meet people and to slowly break out of the mode that kind of keeps you locked in intimidation.
Yeah. Tanya, people are already asking questions, but let's finish these questions first and then we can focus on the ones they're asking.
Okay, good stuff. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I see those questions now. Hey
Yeah.
y'all.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, so Tanya, I want to ask, somebody asked the question, my Ayao, I don't know, Mieyao, Mieeyao, somebody on here on the Instagram page. He or she said, how do you, oh, I think it's a girl. She said, how do you stay confident when a man says that you cannot do better than them? They make you feel
Woo.
not the best you can get when they're not. Do you want me to answer that?
The devil is a lie.
Yeah, liar. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and answer this because this is my area of expertise. You know what I'm saying? Okay, guys. So I was dating this guy before I came to the US in Nigeria, right? So this guy and his family, they're very, very evil. Basically, they're evil. But I didn't know it at that time. So I thought that everything that was going on was just normal and everything. And I remember that whenever we would be together, whenever we'd have a fight, he'd tell me, well, you can never do anything better. You can never do better than me. No one will ever care for you as much as I do, and all that stuff. And I was like, what do you mean I can never do better than you? You know, he'd always say that to me and cuss me out and stuff. I was like, what? I can do better than you, you know? But he broke me down. Then I was like, wow. Whenever I would decide, like, go away, I don't want you anymore, the guy, he would come back and start begging me, right? So I remember when I came to the US, I was here, I was playing basketball. This guy would always call me on the phone and tell me, where are you? Where are you? He knew because I gave him everything, every information, all my information. He had everything, okay? Including my passport number, my coach's number, everything he had, because I was that open. So he thought he had something against me that he could use if I ever tried to leave him. So this guy would call my coaches during practice, telling them, where am I? He can't hear from me. Coach is like, this girl is practicing. What do you mean? Like, when the coach would disconnect the phone, the coach would call me later after practice. Tell this guy, I really see something bad coming out of this relationship. This guy is really insecure. First of all, that guy, any man who ever tells you can't do better than them, they're very insecure. They know you can do better than them. They know there is better out there. Okay? So you can definitely do better than them. So this guy, I remember whenever I talk to him, he tell me, you know what, man, if you try to leave me, I will make sure I destroy your life. You know, there was this guy who was dating this girl, but he would tell me stories like that this girl, he was dating this girl, and this girl left him after she graduated, and he poured acid on the girl. That's what this guy was telling me. I was like, oh, do you mean you poured acid on me? What are you talking about? You know, all those things, subtle things. So one day I decided, I was like, you know what, I'm done. I really can't do this. And even all my friends back home, they knew that this guy wasn't right for me, but I didn't know it at the time. You know, my mind would tell me this is not right. But then because I was like holding on to something that wasn't there, I kept holding on. So I decided, you know what, I'm done. I told this guy, you know what, I'm done. Do whatever you want to do. He said he was giving me 24 hours to make up my mind and take him back. If not, he was going to send those coaches pictures and documents and tell them that I'm fake, that they should send me back home. He would ruin my life. Since I'm not in good terms with my family, then him and his family would be the ones to come pick me up from the airport and ruin my life. I was like, you know what? Go ahead, bring it on.
Oh my gosh.
What he did was he actually sent some nude pictures of me. Yes, guys, don't ask me how he got nude pictures of me because we were dating for a while. So he actually uploaded some pictures and sent to the coaches, telling them that I'm fake, that I'm an aspiring porn star. He said he was going to ruin my life. And plus, you know, basketball and my studies here in the US was everything to me, okay? I didn't want to lose that. And he knew it. And he said he was going to ruin that for me. Guess what? When he did, see, everything he tried to do, God turned it around for my good. I don't know where he's at right now. Maybe he's already dead and buried at God. I don't know where he's at. But I know anything anybody plans ever is going to go back. You know why? Right. Because the God I call upon, okay, giving me this confidence in him. He is not ever going to let me go. He's never ever going to let the enemies triumph over me. Okay?
That's right.
I told him, go ahead, bring it on. He did everything. All the coaches warned him. Okay, they warned him. They told him not to ever text them back. I told one of our counselors at school, because I was at junior college by that time. The counselor was like, okay, what is this information? He was going to send it to the embassy. And this same guy had already sent him papers to try to bring him to the US. Only God knows what he would have tried to do if I had brought him here. Okay? Man. I tried everything and told him, was like, yeah, you know, and then he was threatening me and telling me all that stuff. They were going to use like voodoo power and everything. I said, go ahead, bring it on. Bring it on. Guess what? At the end of the day, he was put to shame. You know why? I did not allow him to break me down.
That's right.
Okay, if you allow somebody, the thing about it that I've noticed is a lot of women make a man feel like they have all the power over them, feel like
Right.
without them their lives are over. So these men feel like, yes, without me your life is over. So if you cannot do better than me, you know, you're going to be ruined. And they threaten you, especially if they have something they think they can expose and the world will know about, something you think is a deep secret that you don't want the world to know about. They will threaten you with that thing and tell you, I'm going to tell the world if you don't stay with me. Do not allow yourself to be deceived. Don't. No. Anybody who ever does that, it's not even meant to be in your life in the first place. What you should do is, if you're in a relationship like that, talk to your family, people who really care about you. Talk to people around. Take it, you can even take it to the police. Say, this guy is threatening me. This is everything that has been said. Expose them, okay?
Yeah.
You can't keep that to yourself. And don't be afraid of what they have to expose about, to show about you. It's going to hurt for a little while, okay? Like this guy did it to me. He thought he was going to break me, but he didn't break me. It made me stronger, okay? Any man who will be threatened by you and tell you they're going to break you down if you don't let them be, and constantly telling you, see, a man who would even tell you that, hey, if you ever leave me, you're never going to find someone better than me. That is the man you should leave, because he doesn't deserve you.
Right away. Right away, you should leave.
You should leave right away, because he doesn't deserve you. Anybody who's threatened like that, it's not worth it. Don't be with that kind of a person. You know. Yeah. So that's my answer. Just go away, leave them, and you can do better. You can do better. You can always do better. Okay, that's my answer. See me, I can do better. I have a man who really cares, who loves me, who can do anything for me. You know, somebody who's just so amazing, who's not even threatened by any other man. He doesn't even bring that up. Honor doesn't even bring that up. That's when you know you have a good man. It doesn't bring up any other man. Oh, you cannot do better. No. It should be between you and them. They shouldn't be threatened and insecure. You shouldn't be with a man who's insecure. Don't.
That's right. That's good advice. That's good advice. It might be hard at first and it might be scary, but get out.
Get out.
That's the situation.
And that's why a lot of women get killed in their relationships, because they see the signs, but they never let go.
Right. Right.
They're threatened to not tell anyone. Tell somebody. Right. Speak up about it. Speak up. Yeah. You gotta speak up about it. Come on now. Even if they threaten to show a naked picture of you, whose nakedness haven't they seen? Kim Kardashian posts pictures of her nakedness everywhere. But that's the only thing they have. Okay, bring it on.
Right.
But you're going to be better for it as soon as you let go of that relationship.
Yeah. You know, embarrassment isn't worth your sanity, and it isn't worth your peace of mind, and it isn't worth your safety. Embarrassment will pass.
Yeah. It will pass. It'll only hurt for a little while, but it'll pass. Trust me. Yeah.
You know, there's a question you have on here that, well, somebody sent it, but I'm sure that they're asking it of you. It's Ashu007. She says, how do you never lose that joy and happiness? And I've commented to you about this a lot, just that you continually carry such a joyfulness and a grace and a peace that's on you. And you have a gift of encouragement, so you're constantly speaking out words of encouragement. Even, I think sometimes you're not even trying to. It just comes out.
You know me very well. I'm not even trying to, but it just keeps flowing. They just keep flowing. I'm like, what is going on? I'm not even trying to say anything encouraging, but it's just coming out. That's because I was born like this. I was born this way. I guess, God has taken me through a journey. Like a lot of people who have been through the things that I've been through, and all the things that have happened that I really didn't deserve, okay? They would come out feeling bitter. You know what I mean? And when you're around them, you feel that bitterness, and they're bitter towards life, bitter towards everybody. They're cussing people out, because I was around people like that. Some of my teammates, for no reason, cussing people out and stuff, just because they hate themselves and they're not happy. They want to cuss. But I'm not like that. I'm like, okay, well, I just trust God completely, okay? We all only have one life to live. How do you want to live it? Do you want to live your life being bitter? No, I don't want to live my life being bitter. Regardless of what anyone throws at me, I have a God who is bigger. You know, right. I have a strength that comes from knowing Jesus, knowing God, and His love for me, and His power. Yeah. So I was born this way, basically. You know, that's all I can say. And because I constantly recognize who my source is the source of my joy. My joy doesn't come from material things or the things that I see or have. What do I have yet? I don't have yet, but I will. I don't have what I want yet, but I will. But my joy, true joy, comes from knowing God and knowing that He cares about you, and knowing that, you know what? even if the world is against you, there's someone greater who should rather be on your side, whose side you would rather be. I would rather be, in my case. And that's the side of God, okay?
Yeah.
So he's the one who constantly brightens my demeanor and gives me strength and just the grace to be joyful in all situations, to be joyful and just surrender to him. You know, like weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning, right? Yeah,
right.
I wept for the death of my daughter. Like during that period, things were hard. But I still found a way. I still called on God because I know in all situations I've got to call on him. Because my joy, my strength, everything that I am comes from him. So that's why I'm always joyful.
Amen. Amen. That's so good. That's good stuff. All right. Let's see. Let's see some of these other questions. You guys have asked some really good questions.
Yeah.
Let's see. We kind of hit on the one already about gaining confidence, even if you're not at your ideal weight. This is a good one. What do you do when your confidence in yourself gives off a wrong impression that you're proud or a know-it-all? And I will say something about that, because when I was, like I said, I was very shy when I was younger, and you know, my family, my friends can all attest to this. I was extremely shy, and as I began to gain confidence in myself and come out of my shell and actually acknowledge that I had a pretty strong personality inside and not a really kind of diminutive, quiet one, I then had to begin dealing with people misinterpreting me, misunderstanding my straightforwardness or my directness, and thinking that I thought too highly of myself or thinking that I was putting them down. You know, some people are just insecure, just period. And when you present yourself as, when you're comfortable with who you are, they're automatically going to withdraw and feel threatened because of you. And it's not anything that you've done. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. And so when you're surrounded by that, there's really not much you can do to change their perception. I mean, I know that that's frustrating and it's disappointing, and we all want people to accept us, but the reality is the most that you can do is to present yourself as a good and kind person, and their perception of you is going to be based on their own insecurities. As they grow and change, hopefully they'll be able to appreciate you really and understand who you are. Maybe they won't, but as long as you know that you're doing your best to be a good person, to be a kind person, let your confidence shine, because those usually becoming a confident person is a hard fought battle. Like you have to go through some things to become confident with who you are and to be willing to let it shine. And of course, you know, we're not going around and being rude to people or insulting them, but being happy with yourself is going to threaten some people. And until they learn that you're not a threat to them because you're happy with who you are, you know, they're going to have that perception. Like Maryam was talking about the girls on her team. Some of them are just nasty just because, and they were jealous and threatened because she was very happy with herself. When people don't get you, they're going to be threatened by you. You know, but you just, your job is just to keep loving them and keep loving you.
Yeah, that's what it's
important. Keep loving
you. Yeah, that's what's most important, loving you.
Yep.
Right, Tanya, you really can't control how people feel about you. You can't. You can control how you feel about you and how you feel about every situation that comes your way and every other person that comes your way.
Exactly.
You control how people are going to react to you. You can't.
Yep.
You just can't live your life thinking and worrying about what people think about you, how they're going to approach or respond to you. You can't do that. That is theirs to think about.
Yeah.
That is theirs to think about. Do not worry yourself about that. Focus on you. Focus
because
on you.
Really, you'll spend your life's energy. You know, I am in my 40s. I am 41 years old. And what I've seen is that you will spend your life's energy trying to make the people around you not think that you're a bad person or a snob or a crab or whatever, but there will still be somebody else who thinks it. Even when you've done everything you can to make the person near you think that you're not mean or nasty, somebody else will think it. So it's best to keep doing you. Be happy with who you are. Be proud of yourself. And the people who are for you are going to be for you.
They're going to be for you.
The people who aren't, they aren't. And, you know, bless them and keep it moving and let God deal with them.
And that's not your worry to keep. Just let it go. That's not your worry.
Exactly. Exactly. And it took me a long time. This is why I'm so excited, because it took me a long time to get this. Like, Maryam, you are younger than me and you already have it. And I'm so happy for you that you are in your 20s and you know who you are. You know, and there's so many women that don't. We get into our 30s and into our 40s before we ever get really satisfied with ourselves. And we're like, psh, do you know what? Forget the rest of what y'all would think about me, because I don't care.
Yeah.
That takes a lot.
Yeah. Tanya, okay, let's go to the other video with questions on it.
Yes.
I'm on there right now, but when you get there, let me know.
I'm there.
Okay, so
the question I just told was from there, but I skipped over one that I knew was specifically for you.
Which one is it? Which one did you skip over? Tell me.
From Peace, Love, and Deja. Deja? It's about your hair, about your haircut. Confidence while rocking a short haircut.
Oh, I see it. Peace, Love, and Deja. You said, and Asia, you said, so beautiful. My question for you is, how do you view yourself as a Black woman with a short hair, right? Short hair.
That's the one.
Have you ever had any moments of uncertainty, and how have you pushed through them? Well, first of all, like I told you guys, I had moments in my life where I really cared about what people thought of me. That was when I was growing up. But I realized that the more I cared about it, the worse I felt about myself. So I decided to go, okay? So my hair, okay, when I came to the US first 5 years ago, I had hair. But at home in Nigeria, I had short hair before and I liked it. But then I started growing my hair back out. So when I came to the US 5 years ago, it was very hard for me to maintain the hair because I played basketball and I also had class. And you just had so much going on with basketball and class and meetings that you hardly had time to go have your hair done. I mean, there were still teammates who still had that time to go have their hair done, but I couldn't deal with that. I just couldn't. So I decided to have one of my teammates put my hair short. So she did, and I liked it. I was like, wow, I like my hair. And from then on, I started keeping my hair short, and I liked it. And people would see me, I was like, wow, I love your hair. I love your hair. So I remember coming to Georgia State University 2 years later. I started trying to grow my hair out again, and then I was like, you know what? I don't want this. I want my hair short. I have a friend who, because I'm so muscular, you know what I mean, like very well cut, and you know, and then she was like, Maryam, I didn't really have any constant boyfriend in my life. She was like, Maryam, you look so masculine with your hair short. Like, why don't you try to grow it out to look more feminine? You know, you play basketball. Maryam, I can't wait till you're done with basketball. I was like, oh, that's like joy. I really don't want to grow my hair. Like any man, the right man for me will not be intimidated by how I look, even though I have short hair.
That's right.
You know, and then she was like, wow, but you because of the short hair and the muscular look, you may look like a lesbian. And the guy, when I said, no, there are guys who will actually love you. The one for me would love the way that I look. I really don't care, you know. And then I was like, you know what, I want to go short. I like it. It's easier for me to carry this way. And I like myself, you know. And I'd have a lot of people come to me and I was like, oh my God, I love your hair. Your hair is so beautiful and so nice. I was like, thank you, thank you. So I was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm not going to grow my hair out anymore because I really don't enjoy growing it out. And I can't take care of my hair. I can't braid. I can't do what Tanya can do, okay? I like to just hop in the bathroom, wash my hair with whatever soap I have, whether shampoo or soap, and just get out and just put some maybe oil and moisturize my hair and go. That's how I want it. I don't really want it. And I don't really want to do anything too serious with it. So I have come to accept myself. The thing is, I love it. I love me. I'm not constantly trying to look like everyone else because I want to be accepted. My hair is short because I chose to have it this way.
Right.
And this way. Hannah happens to love it. Like my husband happens to love my hair this way, and he cuts my hair for me, obviously. But the thing is, regardless of what he thinks about it, what anybody else thinks about it, what I think about it is what comes first.
Exactly.
My hair.
Exactly.
I would go short whenever, go bald whenever I want to. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks about it. It doesn't matter what anybody feels about it. I don't care. And I'm not seeking anybody's opinion as to what hairstyle to carry. No, I love my hairstyle, short and bold, team bald muscle. I'm just playing.
Oh, and it does look amazing. It does.
I just love it. Like, me. This is me. So yeah, it doesn't really matter. As a Black woman, I love it. I love it. Whether black, white, blue, red. If I was black, white, blue, red, I don't care. My short hair is what I love. Whatever anybody else thinks about it doesn't really matter to me. That's it. That's my answer to the question.
That's good. That's excellent.
It's easy for me to maintain that way, you know. And when I said I save him a lot of money because I don't wear braids, I'm like, yeah, be happy.
That is a mess. It's true though.
I'm low maintenance, guys, in terms of low maintenance.
And that's good because EB Babe also asked the same question. She asked about that as well. And you really hit that. You know what? I think that we pretty much hit most of the questions because some of these are repeats of the same idea.
Yeah. What do you think about this one? It says, how do you gain?
There was one, the last one.
Wait, this one says, how do you gain confidence even if you're not at your ideal weight? Can I answer that question?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And Tanya, can you please answer the last question also on that from I'm Ama? The last one. Okay.
Yeah.
You answer this one, then you can go to Ama's question and answer. So this one right here is, okay, from whom again? When you're not on your ideal weight. Okay, Joan, I think, Joanne Paul 03. Joanne Paul 03. Okay, so if you want to lose weight, you're trying to lose weight for yourself, Joanne. You're not trying to do it for anybody else, okay? You're not. You're doing it because you want to live a healthier life and you want to live longer, right? And be there for your children and for whoever you care about. You are not doing it for anyone else. If you are not at your ideal weight, doesn't mean you should wait until you get to your ideal weight to start loving yourself or be confident in your own skin. Love yourself while you try to improve your weight. Love yourself throughout the process. Love yourself before the process, okay? If you wait before you change, if you wait to change yourself to love yourself, you are never going to love yourself. You're never going to love yourself.
That's right.
If you truly love yourself and embrace and appreciate who you really are, it doesn't matter what changes you're trying to make, okay? You love yourself throughout the whole process. You love yourself whether you change or you don't. Because you know the changes you make don't make you love yourself any better.
Right.
People see the difference in you, but if you don't feel it, because I know a lot of women whose interviews I have watched, they've lost weight, succeeded in losing weight, but they still don't love themselves. When they look in the mirror, they still see that fat woman they used to be. Okay, they still see it in the mirror, but that's what I'm saying, that they didn't love themselves before the process. So now that the process has happened, they still see who they used to be. You have to love yourself just as you are. Embrace who you are. And then start changing what you want to change. That love will still be there. That confidence will still be there. Whether changes or no changes, you still appreciate and embrace who you are and be confident in your own skin. That's all that matters. And everybody else will see that light, because confidence is a light. It draws people to you. It makes people.
That's exactly so true. That's right.
That's how it is. Don't wait till you've lost the weight. Love yourself while you're on that process. Love yourself.
And at every step along the way, you know. There's this woman that I follow, and I've been following her on YouTube for years. Her YouTube handle is Diva Slim Down, and she also has Instagram, and she have lost 180 pounds. She was very heavy, but you know what? When she was heavy, you can tell her nothing, because she was like, I am a diva and I'm beautiful. And you could see it in her pictures. You could see it in the way she carried herself, in the way she took care of herself. And she didn't like being overweight, but she was also very confident in the fact that she was beautiful. And all through the steps of the journey, she has remained beautiful. And her confidence is present, and it's been present. And you know what? If she hadn't had that confidence, some of the very difficult parts of her journey would have been impossible for her to even overcome. She couldn't have kept pushing the way she did if she didn't believe in herself and believe that she could do it and believe in her own power and her own strength. So that's right.
You gotta believe yourself. You gotta love yourself. So Tanya,
all right.
Last question before we get on the live questions.
Yeah. This is from Ima, and it says, this is she wants to know, how do you build the confidence after your guy breaks your heart, after you give him your all, and building that confidence to move on? And it's really unfortunate that any of us can even say, I understand, girl, I know how that feels. it's really unfortunate that we even have to say that, but the fact of the matter is we do. We understand. We know what that's like when you've been with someone and you've given them everything. And you know, it's in our nature. I fully believe this as women. It's in our nature to want to give ourselves and to give ourselves fully, because we long for safe commitment and within an environment where we know we're going to be loved and embraced and cared for. That's why when we lose that, or when we feel that we've had it and then it's shattered, we're so broken inside and it really hurts. It's devastating. And part of that has to do with the fact that we link our soul with somebody else, and we give them our hearts. And that's not just a phrase, it's not just a saying. When we willingly give our heart to someone and then they give it back, they never give back the whole thing, because we've left a part of ourselves with them and we're hurt and we're broken. And you know what? That's the point at which you have to stop again and take stock. You have to evaluate, you have to step back, and you have to go within, because you're not going to find strength from any external source, any person around you. I mean, you might have friends who try to encourage you, and they might talk him down and say, girl, he was a dog anyway, he was no good anyway. But really, your sense of self and value and worth is not going to come from any of that. In fact, that will just make it worse. Really, what you need is to take a step back. And I'm a very strong believer in God, and I say that's the first source of your confidence in who you are, because your confidence only comes from knowing that you're created in God's image. And simply because you're created in God's image, you have worth and value. Every human being has worth and value because they reflect the image of God. So when a man breaks up with you and you have given him everything, you can begin to think, well, I just wasn't good enough. I must not have been good enough. I must not have been what he wanted. And so therefore there's something wrong with me. I have a deficiency somewhere. But no, the fact of the matter is he's a broken man. Yeah. We are broken vessels. And so he's a broken man, and he hurt you. Yeah. He hurt, you know, but your value and your worth wasn't ever in question. That was never the issue. And so taking a step back, moving away from just relationships, period, that's very important at a time like that, because you're so hurt and you're so wounded that you really need to be built back up. Yep. And I fully believe that the only way that building grows is just what Maryam has been mentioning earlier, knowing that God has made you unique and special and who you are, and having a confidence growing in you because you're his, first of all. You're his. You know, this guy 9 times out of 10, the wrong joker anyway. And so he was designed to tear you down because he wasn't made to build you up. You know, he wasn't made for you. So the man that's for you is going to build you up. He's going to honor you. He's going to love you. He's going to appreciate you. And he's not going to take advantage of you and your heart before you're his anyway. Yeah. So that's another topic altogether that I can get on, you know, but he will honor you. And if it ends up that relationship doesn't work out, you won't come out of it destroyed and wrecked and feeling like you're worthless and feeling like, my God, what good do I have left in me? That won't happen, because you'll know this me that God has created is valuable. And this guy, maybe he messed up, but what I am and what I have to offer is what somebody else is going to benefit from, because I'm only a good thing. Yeah. You know,
that's awesome. That's great. Like Tanya already said it all. That's it. Don't let, because your joy is your joy. You can't tie it to someone else or any situation. You just can't. If you tie it on something tangible, that means when that thing goes away, guess what? Your joy goes away. But if you tie your joy on an eternal being, the one who created you in the first place, God, your joy will never be taken away from you. No matter what happens, no matter what comes your way, it'll never be taken away from you. I know people have always told me, "Oh yeah, you're happy all the time." Yes, I'm happy all the time. That way, I was born that way. No matter what hard situation came my way, I know that my Redeemer liveth. So it's not going to break me. It's only going to make me strong. Right. And the devil is a liar.
A liar. That's exactly it. See, the enemy wants to tear you down, so he'll put people in your life. Girl, see, this topic just, we're so desiring something good and to be loved, and that's not a bad thing. But the enemy likes to use that to manipulate us and to begin breaking us down from a very early age, to begin putting us, but presenting us with situations that are not ideal. We may think they are at the time, especially if someone's giving us some attention, but that doesn't mean that they're right for us and that they love us and that they are the ones who are going to protect us and nurture us and care for us.
Yeah.
So we have to be very discerning as women, not to just give our hearts away, not to just give ourselves away emotionally to somebody just because they're paying us some attention or just because they're speaking these sweet words. You know, you need to surround yourself with people who are objective and can help you in that area, but you need to also make sure that you're praying and asking God, is this person, you know, going to help me or going to harm me? Are they going to honor me? Or are they going to dishonor me? Because it may look all great in the beginning. Okay, so that's another topic altogether, and that wasn't the question, so I'm not going to stay there, but I just think it's so important to avoid those kind of situations if we can.
Yeah, Tanya, remember, one thing I noticed about women is women, they completely give themselves away and make themselves feel like, because I used to do it before, like they can't live without a man, they can't do anything without a man, like if the man never leaves them, their lives are over. Your life is not over if a man leaves you.
Right.
You can live with that man. You can. Do not deceive yourself and do not allow them make you feel like you can't live or survive without them. You can. You have a life. You know, be your own person. Be your own individual. Find yourself. Know who you are and what you want. Don't allow what a man keeps feeding you to be what you take in and makes you fine. Don't let your identity be tied on a man.
Right.
Man define you. Don't let a man define you. You define yourself. Define who you are. You are an individual. You're a person. Okay, and if you don't give yourself that attention that you need, you're going to continue to depreciate while the person whom you put ahead of you will appreciate.
Right,
so
exactly.
Put yourself first. Let yourself, because you can't love someone else if you don't love yourself. But a lot of the times, a lot of women just forget about themselves totally and just love somebody else. Oh, my life is on this man. If the man leaves me, oh God, I'm over. Everything is over. No, your life is not over. Your life is not over. You have your life. You're a person. Love and embrace who you are. Your success and your blessings in life are not tied on one man. They're not. They're all yours.
That's right.
With the help of God, just let yourself be all that He wants you to be. Do not allow somebody define you or somebody make you feel like you're less than if you ever leave them. Anybody who ever makes you feel that way, that person doesn't deserve you. You just gotta break up with that person and move on.
That's
and
right.
you'll be okay. You'll be happy. You might be hurt for a little while. Surround yourself with people who would edify you, people who make you feel good. You know what I mean? Good people, the right kind of people, and you get over whatever hurt and you move on. And when the right person comes along, you will know it too. And you still have yourself. You still have your personality. You still have your person, your confidence, and the love you have for yourself that you should feel for yourself in the first place. You still have it. While the new person comes in and makes you feel things you've never felt before, and it make you even feel like a fool for letting the last guy break your heart or treat you like you allowed him to.
That's right. That is so right. That is so right. It's so easy to get sucked into that. But man, you gotta surround yourself with good people, life-giving people.
Exactly. So Tanya, do you want to go to the live questions right now?
Yes, girl, but there are a lot of questions on here. I don't know, how do you want to do this? Because there are a lot. They're good questions too.
Yeah, you can, you answer one, just like we've been doing it.
Okay. First of all, guys, thank you so much for coming on and listening to us. Hi to all of the people who are commenting and saying, hi, Maryam, hi, Tanya, hello. Let me see here. There are a lot of highs, so I'm going to try to scroll down to the first question. Thank you. This says, the advice you guys hi, love the advice you guys are giving. Yeah. Thank you, Sweetheart 40. Victim of Beauty says, as a young lady, I need to hear things like this. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome, Victim of Beauty.
Let's see. There's someone listening from Spain, and they said they love your haircut, Maryam.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I love it too.
Someone wants to know, or Beyonce, girl, Beyonce wants to know. She wants to know, this is actually a question for you. She says, how did you lose all your baby weight?
Girl, the weight just started coming off. But the thing is, I exercise, like I run, I sprint, I work out in the pool, I do some, some slides, and I use some weights, and I try to eat right too. I remember for a second there, I bought some green vegetables, some kale, some banana, some lime, lemon and everything. What I did was I have a NutriBullet, so I would blend everything together, mix it up, and drink it, and then eat something, maybe something later in the day. But that was like the first thing I would drink a lot of, and it actually filled me up. And that's it. But I think the main part is, like, I was very muscular before I got pregnant. Like, really, really much. Look at me. I still don't look at me. Don't I'm
muscle.
I work out, guys. I work out. So the weight just came. It came up, and plus, you guys know what we went through. I guess part of the reason the weight came off so fast is because, you know, my daughter was sick, and we were at the hospital for so long, and I was focused on her completely too. That too helped, I guess. But for the most part, it's it's just working out and staying fit and healthy. That's how it came up.
It's good. That's good stuff. Beyonce also asked, how do you deal with self-confidence issues, especially when you're very shy? And I think I hit on that a bit, just about.
I think you answered that. Can you quickly say something so you know that
just that really coming to appreciate yourself and having to look within, look at the qualities about yourself that are valuable and that are, you know, that people want to like, want to know, want to see. But really, it comes from turning inward. And there are times when that's a very important exercise, to look within and to see your own value and your own worth outside of other people's opinions. Being shy is not easy. And I know, because I was very shy. And actually, I am still a shy person, believe it or not. And I have to talk to myself and say, you know what? You're going to go over there and meet that person, or you're going to open that door. And then often the other person starts talking. You know, just looking up and giving a smile. Those kinds of things are those baby steps. There's nothing wrong with being a shy person, but being shy and lacking confidence, that's a different thing. If you know who you are, you'll find the ability to come out of that shell from time to time and to really become confident in your ability to communicate with others. But really, it comes from appreciating yourself.
Yeah.
Let's
see. That's how it is.
There's a lot of shout outs and a lot of amens.
My husband just commented. Hannah just sent me a text. He said, "Y'all are some sexy, confident women." LOL.
Thank you, Hunter. Thank you. That's a good guy. You have a good one. And that's the thing, you know, when you don't just settle for all kinds of foolishness, the right ones who have sense in their heads, they come along and you can identify them, because they're not just tickling your ego. You have enough confidence in yourself that you don't need someone to tickle your ego.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop now because I'm back on that topic again.
You really don't. You really don't need anybody to tickle your ego. You don't. All you need is you. Just appreciate and love who you are, basically. And if you do that, that's all you need. That's all you really need. Okay, let me go.
Someone, Mary Austin, has asked me, Tanya, will you take us on an outing with you again? I enjoyed your Easter video. Yes, I will take you on an outing again. We are going to a place called Eilat, which is in the southern part of Israel. In a couple of weeks, we'll be taking you guys there with us when we go. So be looking for that. And thank you, Mary. Here's a good one for you, Maryam.
Okay, what is it?
In a world that is so judgmental and obsessed with beauty, how do you truly stay confident? I find people are so shallow. That's from Grace Motivate.
Oh, hey, girl. I find a lot of people so shallow because all they concern themselves about is how they look. See, girl, you just got to embrace who you are. You got to focus on what you want. Like, a lot of us, I mean, I see a lot of women these days pursuing their careers and trying to do things that would better themselves, right? Because you don't want to just look all beautiful and be shallow. When somebody asks you a question about what is happening, the current event happening in the world, and you just sit there with your face just smiling and you don't know what to say, and all you have is no.
You know what that makes me think of that, and I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anybody, but it makes me think of that was it Miss America or Miss Teen America or some pageant where they asked a girl, and she was like, because I think like that, well, and the like people like, yeah.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to just stand there and all you have is just your face. No, like just apply yourself to studying, learn, read newspapers. You know what I mean? Read books, learn, go to school, try to know certain things. Like, don't just be all beauty, because that's not what's going to take you. Beauty fades. Beauty fades. Knowledge lasts forever, and knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Even men these days. I know there are men who like beautiful women and women who look good, but every woman has beauty, okay? But what will make you stand out and have a long-lasting relationship is the knowledge you have and your ability to converse. You know what I mean? To express yourself. Talk about something relevant other than the latest MAC lipstick or something. I mean, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, that is fine, but that shouldn't be the only knowledge you have, because not everybody can relate to that.
Right. Yeah, and that's not going to get you very far. And you know what, men? A man who's a man of worth actually will appreciate an intelligent conversation with a woman. There's a question here from a guy, actually, and I want to bring it up because it's a good question. He's asking, I'm sorry, Maryam, I don't want to cut you off from that answer. So if you have more to say, then do. But I think it's very important to have that confidence.
I'm reading some of the questions now, too, so.
Okay. It's Adam. It's from Adam B. He says, how do you gain confidence when you're approaching women? Maybe you can answer it for the guy.
You want me to answer it for him? Tanya, you want the question? Okay. Well, hey, Adam. First of all, that's my my brother-in-law's name, Adam. Adam, you just gotta be you, man. Women love confident men. Women love men who don't care. Like, see, Adam, you don't even need to be dressed perfect, okay? If you can be confident enough to step up to her and tell her she looks beautiful and you like her, you like how she looks, I'm telling you, even if the woman is wearing the latest Gucci shoes, a dress, she'll say, wow. It's amazing that you can talk to me. Like, women are impressed with confident men. The men don't really have to be all decked up and looking all amazing and stuff. No, all you need is that confidence and that word from you and that smile. And you can talk to any woman and she'll pay attention to you. That's how my husband did, because I didn't pay him any mind, but he was like, I couldn't help but notice him. And then I started looking for him all over the place just to notice him do that. That's all you need. You're a man. That's all you know. Women, it doesn't take a lot. Okay, it doesn't take a lot to get a woman's attention. All it takes is just that smile and that confident approach. Just one confident approach would change the whole situation for you.
Yeah. And you have to be confident in yourself, you know? You have to be confident in who you are before, because we can see through that if you're not. But being confident in yourself will draw women, will draw that attention.
Be confident. Love yourself the way you are, and just go ahead and say, you know what, she's going to love me. Be confident and just approach her. And good luck with that, because I know it's going to work. All right.
Beyonce has a question for you. She asks if you're a Christian.
Yes, Beyonce. Hello. Isn't it obvious already?
Let's see. Oh, Fee, I'm sorry. She says she recently lost her best friends because they told her she had too much confidence and they were jealous of everything that she had.
Girl, good riddance. Good riddance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good riddance.
That's right. She was not, just like Courtwood says, she was not your friend in the first place.
Tanya, you want to answer this question by Shirley Atabe. She said, hey, Maryam, how would one know if someone is the right one for them, and it is always good to consider, and is it always good to consider other people's opinions on who you date?
Yes, I would be happy to answer that one. Okay, first of all, knowing who is the right one for you, it comes with a lot of variables and factors. There are, I'm a big believer, first of all, in surrounding yourself with people with whom you can hold yourself accountable. And that doesn't mean every girlfriend that you have, every friend who you hang with. No, you need to have a set of people who you trust and who are mature individuals that you can go to, that you can talk to just honestly, who you know will not, I have a mentor who used to say, I'm going to shoot straight from the hip. And what she meant by that was, I'm just going to keep it real with you, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think, and you know that it's for your good and it's because I love you. So first of all, you need people around you like that, because when we start to get involved with someone emotionally, some of our logic goes out of the window. I'm just going to call it what it is. We want that person to be the right one, because we wouldn't have invested some of our time in them if we weren't hoping that they were right. So I do think that we do need to consider the input of others, but you need to have a very limited group of people that you are willing to take that input from. And so, you know, it's okay to have friends who maybe aren't as mature as you. You should always have a group, a different, you know, a variety of people around you anyway. So it's okay to have friends who maybe aren't as mature as you, friends who are at the same place as you, and definitely have people in your life who are beyond you as far as maturity and even maybe knowledge goes and wisdom, because those are the people that you need to rely on when you have someone that you're considering getting involved with or that you are slowly getting to know. That's the person, or those are the people who will give you sound input and advice. So yes, first of all, I do think that you should consider the opinions of others, but not all others, a very select group of others who are trustworthy and safe.
Yeah.
Now, how do you know if someone is the right one? That is not an easy question to answer, because there are so many factors that go into the right one. And I do that with air quotes because I take that term very lightly. First and foremost, I think that you need to be in prayer. You need to take that person. If you find that you're attracted to someone, hopefully you're already getting to know them. You appreciate their personality. You consider them intelligent. They can hold a decent conversation. They're not just like, "Ooh, girl, you look so good," you know. But they should find you attractive. But they should also have some other kind of substance to them. So all of that considered, you should actually take that person to God and pray about it. And it doesn't have to be some drawn out kind of ritual. You know, you can be walking down the street, going to the store or whatever, but have a conversation, a continual conversation with God about it. God, you know, I'm really attracted to this guy. I like him, but I don't want to put myself in a bad situation. I don't want to be with somebody who's going to ruin me, who's going to hurt me. I don't want to be with somebody who's the wrong person for me, because I do believe that there are a lot of people who can potentially be the right person for you. It just depends on when you meet and how you click. So I say, ask God about that. Just pray and say, a really good one, the one that I prayed, and boy, did it make a difference. If this person is dangerous, the wrong person for me, is going to be harmful to me and the destiny that you have for my life, then please remove them. You know, remove them from my life, whether in a romantic way at least. Make it very plain, very clear through them, through me, through other people, that this is not the right person for me. And that really does work. I can tell you it's worked in my life. I've seen it work in other people's lives. I know that God is interested. He's interested in what's happening with us, you know, and you'll begin to see things as you start to think about what you consider a good man to be. Pay attention. You'll start to see that this person either meets those qualifications or they don't. Just on a very basic level, how do they treat the women around them? How do they treat their friends who are girls? How do they treat their mom? How do they treat their sisters? Are they irritable and short-tempered with them, but really super sweet with you? Because that super sweetness with you is not going to last. It may be around for a year or 2 or 5, but eventually that's going to go away. You know, so pay close attention to how they treat people. How do they treat old people? How do they treat people who are in need? Are they generous? Are they kind? Are they sarcastic? Are they rude? You know, look at how they treat you, but look more closely at how they treat other people. That's an important factor as well. How do they handle their resources? How do they handle their money? What about their time? Do they work? Are they lazy? Do they cheat? I know that those things seem like they're so broad, but really those things, the reason I bring them up is because they give you an indication of that person's character. And their character is going to be way more valuable than how good they look, how good they smell, or anything. That's what you want to consider. So in the end, my point is pay attention to their character and the things that give you an indication about their character. And then surround yourself with a handful of people who are trustworthy and who you know will give you good input about that person, even if they know it may hurt.
Yeah, it does. And honestly, if you're around somebody who always gives you doubts and you're always doubting, oh, this is doubt this, that person is not the right person for you. It's your spirit. Yeah. It's not right.
Yep.
Listen to your gut. Listen to your gut feeling. And if you're around a guy, especially someone you're considering dating, and you don't really feel like, you feel a certain way about yourself when you're around them, and your mind telling you, no, this is not working out for you, and you don't feel good around them, about yourself around them. And I think that's not somebody you want to mess around with. You just gotta trust, because God gives us those feelings for a purpose, and let's not ignore them.
Exactly. That's good.
It happened to me before. Like there's some guys that I actually dated, and every time I was around them, I felt like it was a wrong thing that I was doing. It was wrong, and eventually it was, and I had to go away. And when everything, scattered, and I went on my way, I felt better for it. Like my life has been so much better.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. The right person will always make you feel good, make you feel, the way that you're supposed to feel about yourself. Who put you down or other people down. So, yeah, sorry, time cutting me.
No, that's okay. I was done.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much the end of our questions, but we do have a lot of support. Preach. Amen.
Empress said, thank you, Maryam and Tanya. You're welcome, Empress. You're welcome.
Yeah. Amen.
Jersey to Man 1212 said, beauty fades, dumb is forever. For sure.
That's right. That is so true. Listen, man, that is true. Thank you, Nova264. That's hi, Tanya. Hi, Maryam. He or she, I'm not sure. You ladies are speaking the truth. Thank you.
Thank you, Kemi Lucas. She said, you two lovely ladies, thank you for sharing your wisdom, love, and knowledge here today.
Thank you for listening.
For listening to us. And Shirley Atabe said, thanks, guys. I really appreciate your advice. You're welcome, Shirley. Michelle said, much love to you both. How do you gain confidence back if you never receive many attention from men? If you feel good about yourself, but I live in LA and dark-skinned, tall, plus-sized, errant. Do you want me to answer that? Because I'm dark-skinned, I'm tall.
But you received attention from men, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, being tall, that's automatic. You're gonna get attention. So you're right. I do actually.
I did not. You know what? I did not receive any attention from men until I started feeling good about myself. And I think that makes a big difference. And actually, it was after I was married.
But you can see you got attention from your husband, though.
Yes, and that's true. That's true. We developed a very close friendship, and that grew into something more. But yeah, Michelle, that is a hard one, and it's very frustrating if you. Well, I'm not implying that your concern is just to receive attention from men, but I know it's when you're surrounded, and I would imagine in LA, where everything seems to be about externals. Yeah. Just from what I've seen and heard, that could be challenging. But it sounds like you say you have confidence in yourself already. Let me see. Did you say that here?
No, you said, how do you gain confidence back?
Back, yeah. Part of it is having to look within and not look without. I've said that so much, but that's because that is the God's honest truth. The only way that you'll get confidence is by getting it within yourself. Because if you try to draw confidence from other people's perceptions of you and interactions with you, then you're not going to get any. It's not really based on what they think. It's based on what you think. And if your height, if you're tall, beautifulness, your dark, gorgeous skin, if you look at that and you say to yourself, I am beautiful. Look at how tall I am. Look at this height. Look at these legs. Look at this skin.
Exactly.
Chocolate, gorgeous. If you don't like referring to yourself as food, then look at this beautiful brown skin. If you talk to yourself about it, you will begin to believe that you're beautiful. And beyond your look, think about and talk to yourself about what's inside. Are you intelligent? Do you consider yourself well-versed? If not, get out and read. Do you consider yourself knowledgeable? If not, take some classes and learn some things. Invest in yourself. That's a really big thing. Invest in yourself, because other people, they're going to come and go, and men notice a woman who notices herself and cares about herself.
Yeah. Go ahead. She said she was fine about the way she looks, but she's starving for some attention. So I don't know. The thing is, why? Okay, do you want to say something? Just finish what you were saying, then I'll say something. after you.
Well, no, you can go ahead. I was mainly done. I was just talking about feeling confident in yourself because you know who you are and investing in yourself to gain confidence.
Yeah, hey Michelle, just like Tanya said, the thing is, whether or not people notice you, okay, that shouldn't really bother you. What should bother you is how you feel about yourself. If you love yourself and appreciate yourself, you're not even going to worry about people noticing you or not, because they will. Trust me, they will. But you know what? You also want the right people to notice you. You don't want everybody to notice you.
Yes, that's right.
So wanting every man to notice you, that shouldn't make you that. You shouldn't base your happiness on your self-worth and your self-worth on that. Don't make anybody validate you. Men noticing you shouldn't validate you. You should validate yourself. Do you notice yourself? Yeah. Love yourself, embrace who you are, and try to take care of you. Don't do it because you want people to notice you. Do it because you love it. Do it because this is you improving you and loving yourself, because you're also a person paying attention on you. Okay? I'm telling you, girl, the right people will notice you. Trust me. Well, you only want that one person. I don't know who you want. I don't know what your beliefs are or what you really seek to achieve from everybody noticing you. But the thing is, if you want people to notice you, first of all, you have to notice yourself. You have to love yourself and let the confidence you have for yourself just come out. Let your love for yourself show. And second of all, do not focus on people noticing you. Focus on you.
Yeah. And it can be hard. Like, I know that's hard. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I know that is really difficult. When you just want somebody to notice, when you want that attention. But it does take an internal process, like a different way of thinking. Not to just become comfortable with yourself, but to be okay with people not looking. Because you'd be surprised, people probably are looking. You may not be aware of it, but honestly, sometimes you don't want some of them folks looking. Like, there's some attention that it's better to not get.
Yeah, exactly. You don't really want everybody. You don't want everybody's attention. But the thing is, so long as you love yourself, there's something about confidence. Okay, there's something about confidence, loving yourself, and not doing it because everybody's watching, but doing it because this is you, and you're very well aware of you. It draws people to you. It draws the right kind of people to you. That's what it does for you. You don't need everybody on your side. You don't need every kind of attention. But the thing is, what confidence does for you is it gives you the right kind of attention. It draws the right attention that would actually help you to you. That's what it does. So it doesn't make you focus on things that don't matter, on petty things. Whether a man notices you or not, or you don't have the attention of a bunch of men or not, the right man for you who really matters, the right person that really matters will notice you. That's how it is.
Now, Maryam, I am going to have to probably head off here in about 5 minutes, if that's okay.
Yeah, we will. We'll round up in 5 minutes, but let me just answer this question real quick. And look for another one question that you can answer that we can go off, because it's time for us to I'll answer one question and then you can answer one, and then we'll be.
Yes. Oh, I see one here about a hot topic. Lord.
Which one is it? Or the one you want to answer?
Well, you actually have brought this up to me before, so you can answer. It's by Casey Barbs. It's about bleaching.
Ah, okay. What did she say?
She says, I feel like bleaching the true black skin has become a more trend. Is the lighter skin a pathway to a brighter life?
No, it's not. Being light skinned, or it doesn't change anything. It doesn't. You're still going to be with the person God has destined for you to be, the right person. It doesn't matter. Being light skinned doesn't mean you're going to attract the right person that you want to be with.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't change a thing about anything. Your beauty doesn't have anything to do with your skin tone. It doesn't have anything to do with your skin tone. It has everything to do with how you feel and how you see yourself. That's what beauty is. And even if you're light skinned and you attract people to you, and that's your perception of life. But are those the kind of people you want around you? Ask yourself, is that the kind of attention you want around you? And even if you're dark skinned and gorgeous like me and Tanya here, do you want to attract the wrong people?
Yeah, no, you don't.
So what matters is who you attract, okay? It doesn't matter how light-skinned or dark-skinned you are. What matters is it still comes back to you, okay? Yeah. It still comes back to you. Feeling good about yourself and feeling beautiful has nothing to do with how you look. It has everything to do with how you accept yourself and how you feel, and letting that fire just, that light just burst out.
Right. Because, my daughter, now obviously, if you don't know, my husband is white, like Maryam, and my daughter is light skinned. She's very light. And I found I emphasized so much, and I had to really invest in myself and my own beauty and my confidence in that my daughter, who's 9, I noticed that she started, what she wanted to look like was me. And so I had to realize, my goodness, I have to encourage her that she's beautiful, that she's attractive, and she's 9, so she doesn't really care about being attractive, but that she is a pretty girl. But beyond that, that what she has to offer isn't this. It isn't what's out here. That's just the wrapping that what she has to offer comes in. And it is unfortunate that some people, because our society has done this, has made this, given us this idea that being lighter is better and is more attractive. But really, what's attractive is what comes out, is what shines out of you, is the personality that you seem to present. Even I'm like, okay, let's use Beyonce as an example. I consider Beyonce to be pretty light, light skin, light brown skin. We have all these designations for for Black people. So I think that Beyonce is a beautiful woman. She's very attractive. But I think what draws people to her isn't just what she looks like. And I'm not out here saying I'm a big Beyonce fan. I'm actually not. I don't listen to her music, but I think she's beautiful. But I think what actually draws people to her is what she seems to exude. It's not just what she looks like, although she's physically attractive, but it's the confidence and when people learn about how she runs her business and how she does things, all of that together has an allure to it that draws people to her. Now, yes, she's physically attractive, and she's got those curves that I was talking about earlier. But really, it's her persona. It's what she presents. It's the confidence that she exudes that is what draws people beyond what they see on the outside. So it's unfortunate that people get sucked into this needing to be lighter and being pulled into seeing someone who's lighter and considering them more attractive. But I think that what's the most attractive is the woman's confidence and how she presents herself and how she.
Yeah, that's definitely what's most attractive, guys. That's what's attractive. It's your confidence. Being lighter doesn't make life brighter for you. No, you bleach your skin, you're actually destroying your skin. If you weren't born light, you bleach your skin, you're destroying the skin. You are. I have sisters. My sisters bleach their skin. They think it attracts men. Some of my sisters, not all of them bleach, but those that I know right from time that I've always bleached their skin, they think it makes them to look beautiful. It makes them look like they're biracial. It doesn't make them look like they're biracial. They look burnt up and like they bleach their skin. They don't look very burnt up. Okay, it doesn't look good. But they do it because they think it makes them look good. Oh no, I'm so attractive, yeah. And they surround themselves with people who think that same way. And it's messed up. It is messed up. And that's one thing I always told myself, I'm never gonna bleach my skin. I love my skin. I love it. Look at Lupita that everybody's talking about. Lupita is my skin tone. It's our skin tone. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't you guys think she's beautiful? Lupita Nyong'o, don't you guys think she's beautiful? I think she's beautiful. I mean, who set the trends for beauty and what standard people should look up to. They put her as the most beautiful woman in the world, one of the most beautiful women, and she's just like Tanya and myself here. But the thing is, beauty is what you make of it. You can't really define beauty by one thing. Beauty is very diverse. But where beauty comes from is you, the person who owns it, the person, how you see yourself, how you feel about yourself. It has nothing to do with how your skin looks. It has everything to do with how you feel and how you carry yourself, your person, your persona. You know what I mean? Just like Tanya was saying about, was talking about Beyonce. It's not because of how she looks or anything. It's because of how she carries herself, how she handles the things she does, her music and everything. That's what makes her beautiful, not just the physical.
Yeah.
That's where beauty comes from within. Confidence comes from here too, but you gotta see it. You gotta see it. And one thing I want to say before we finish this up is, you have to look at yourself, really look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, you know what, I am beautiful. Regardless of what anybody says, I am beautiful and I'm going to own it. You know why? If you don't do it, people are going to tear you down. If you don't do it, people are not going to see it. It is how you feel about yourself and what you constantly tell yourself. You'll be surprised. Those very same words will be coming out of the mouth of people you don't even know, telling you the same thing. You're so beautiful, you're so amazing, you're so this, you're so that. And you'll be like, wow, but I was just saying that to myself earlier. That is because the beauty that you are has to come from you first.
That's right. That's right.
that also would rub off on other people, and they start seeing that about you. But if you don't see it first, nobody's gonna see it. Nobody.
Yeah. It's all about your perception.
It's all about perception.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It was. I really enjoyed it, Tanya. I really did.
Me too. And thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for all the love. You guys have been, these are great questions, and you guys have been so supportive and so so kind.
Yeah.
For listening.
Hey guys, for those of you who don't know Tanya, her YouTube channel is Black and Natural in Jerusalem. You guys should go check her out. She has a lot of videos on now, and if you guys want to learn about Jerusalem and you know, Israel and the culture, food, and different places, Tanya has all that in her channel. Even more, she has everything. You guys go check her out. Follow her. Tell her I sent you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, please. Thank you. Thank you for the shout out. And I plan on posting this video on my channel. So guys, if you don't follow Maryam's Joyful Life, you need to. Look at her. First of all, she is intelligent and she's funny and she's smart. She's fun, beautiful. You want to follow her, guys. She always has she'll just pop on with some wisdom because something came to her and she wants to talk about it. And she and her husband Hunter are a lot of fun. They are fun to watch. They are a sweet couple. They're really worth checking out. So her channel is called Maryam's Joyful Life. You need to go over there. Please check her out. Tell her I sent you. And sub to your channel. You'll really enjoy it.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're going to go offline now. Thank you so much. Stay blessed, guys. Remember the topic of today and everything we talked about. Confidence, confidence, confidence. And it comes from within. Let it pop.
That's right. Bye, guys.
All right, guys. Bye, guys.